Welcome back, Authentic Fam. It's your boy Allende, Authentic Alphas again. And today, I want to have a quick anti-rant. Whatever would be the opposite of a rant is what we're going to do right now for the next few minutes. And it's going to be an explanation on why American women are a lot like American fruit. And the hope is that it will give guys a perspective, another way to look at the situation with American women, or the selection of American women, and deal with it, cope with it, subtract the emotion and the disappointment from the equation. So real quick, just to put it into context. So I'm Jamaican. I spent some of my early years in Jamaica, on the island. My grandparents were like green thumbs. My grandfather was all about plants that bear fruit and vegetables. My grandmother, she was into that too, obviously, but she was, feminine with it. She liked flowers and plants that were beautiful, that bloomed, okay? But it made for a healthy relationship between the two of them. They enjoyed the outdoors, planting and maintaining produce together, okay? Of course, being a little bit more feminine, you would appreciate the beauty of the flowers and the smell and all that and all the feelings. My grandfather was more practical, okay? He felt like if I'm gonna put the effort into growing and maintaining a plant, it better give me something. It better give me something in return. It's an investment. So there goes the fruit and the vegetables. So I had that influence growing up. And I loved fruit. As a kid, fruit was my candy. Wasn't big on candy because it wasn't really available. But fruit was my thing. I could spend all day just eating fruit. There'd be fruit all over my face. There'd be fruit in my hair and my nose and my eyelashes. I loved fruit. And as I got older in America, the quality of the fruit began to decline once I left a particular area. So I grew up in New York, but I grew up in a very Caribbean, West Indian neighborhood. So there was always things from the islands available. The breads that we would eat, the meats that we would eat, the cheeses, and of course, the fruit. But the fruit was provided by the Koreans, mostly, some Chinese, okay? But the quality of fruit was spectacular. Where am I going with this? I didn't really notice how fast and how rapid the quality of fruit was declining in America because I wasn't in the typical, cities of America or different parts of America to really notice it. I wasn't going to the mainstream supermarkets and so on. But once I became an adult and I moved out of New York, I started realizing that it was really hard to find quality fruit. You'd go to the supermarket, the fruit would be trash. Walmart in particular, never buy fruit from Walmart. Walmart, guys. Well, in America at least, right? It's trash. Now, why is it trash? Well, it's trash because of the process. The fertilizers they use, the chemicals that they use, the pesticides that they use. It's trash. It's poison. They grow the stuff super fast. They put coloring in it. They do all kind of stuff. They put all kind of chemicals on it to keep the bugs off of it.
Who doesn't love a glorious red apple? Or a plump strawberry? Or fresh and juicy coconuts? But these were probably grown on an orchard using pesticide, which means they contributed to a lot of destruction before they got to my table.
Now, researchers warn insects are dying off at an alarming rate.
85% of people are concerned about pesticide exposure in food. Are they risky?
The mystery illness is said to have been caused by excess levels of toxins in pesticides.
The quality of the fruit is compromised. The vitamins aren't there. The nutrition's not there. Straight garbage. But the fruit tends to look better. The fruit would have the brightest colors, the coat, the skin of the fruit would be perfect. There'd be very few imperfections on it, like no bug bites, nothing. When I was growing up, it was literally reverse. The fruit would have all kind of imperfections on it, all kind of little bug bites and little brown spots and everything going on. The fruit was not going to look, perfect. And it also wasn't going to last. It wasn't going to last for any amount of time off the tree. You had a very short period in between when that fruit was picked and when you can eat that fruit. But the plastic shit that they sell us today could sit in the supermarket for days, maybe even weeks, because of all the stuff that they pump it up with, right? They even put in like wax on the apples, right? I'm sure this apple is trash. Now, where am I going with this, guys? The fruit is trash because of how it was created, right? How it was cultivated. Now, compare that to Western women, American women in particular. It's almost the exact same situation. Because the fruit was rushed, because it was pumped full of a bunch of bullshit chemicals, because there was no love, no patience put into it, the product that comes out is just quick, fast, shiny, okay, but void of any real value, substance. Well, this is a lot like how the women are, because they're not raised in those traditional households, they're not raised up on values and morals. They don't take their time to develop and mature. They don't gradually get to know and experience and interact with boys. Everything's fast and rapid. They're already dressing like grown women. They're already out here being promiscuous. They're already, being passed around at a very young age sexually. No more virgins. We already know that, right? The saying now is there's no more wives in the West. There's no more wife material in America. So hopefully you guys can see the similarities that I'm trying to point out to you, that it's almost identical, the situation that American women are in and American fruit is in. Now, this brings me to how I want you guys to interpret that and internalize that. So I was getting really, really frustrated in my early and mid-20s, constantly like on the hunt for, better quality fruit. But like a dummy, I was going to all technically the same places. I was going to different supermarkets. It's like, this Walmart, the fruit is trash. I'm going to go to another Walmart. Dude, it's still Walmart, right? Then also, I would have this expectation for it all the time. I would get the fruit and I'd judge the fruit based on how it looked. And then I'd eat the fruit, I'd bite into the fruit, I'd be like, what? This tastes like nothing, right? Mango's trash, bananas trash, the apple's trash, everything trash. But I kept on putting myself through this because I kept having the same expectation. And then eventually, I realized fruit is just trash nowadays, bro. You're not in Jamaica anymore. You're not in the Bronx anymore. You're not buying from the Koreans at the market. So unless you're going to get to a farmer's market, unless you're going to find a place where the fruit is still grown organic and traditionally, then this is what you're going to get. So I did a combination of one or two things. I either just stopped buying fruit as often, or when I did actually buy fruit, I had little to no expectation for it. Every once in a while I was surprised and I was like, oh, this watermelon is actually pretty good. But I knew 85-90% of the time the fruit was going to be a major disappointment because of what I was used to, because of what I was accustomed to. Because I would look around at Americans and they were like, it's good, it's delicious. And I'm like, fucking trash, bro. But see, that's all they know. That's all they knew. So they don't have a base of reference to say, this is what quality fruit's supposed to taste like. This is what a real mango is supposed to taste like. And whenever I would go back to Jamaica to visit, the fruit was just amazing. I would go to other islands, same thing. Recently, like the past 7 years, Mexico is where I know I can depend on quality produce. When I go to Colombia, same thing. I know the produce is gonna be, You know where I buy most of my fruit in Mexico? And it's ironic. Walmart. Walmart. But it's not the same. It's definitely not the same as whatever the hell they have in a Walmart here, right? Even the chickens and everything they sell out there is different. It's like some organic stuff going on. In Italy, the dairy was amazing. The wines obviously were amazing. A lot of the meats were really good quality, and like the cheeses and stuff, and the breads, of course, the pastas and everything. Hopefully you guys understand what I'm trying to say here. When I go to certain countries, I have an expectation for the fruit, but I also have an expectation for the women. And it's reverse results. The results are flip-flopped. Here in America, 80% of the time you're going to be disappointed. In these other countries, 80% of the time you're going to be more than satisfied. So I'm saying all of this to say to you guys, stop setting these high expectations and getting disappointed. Stop looking in the same places expecting the women to be magically better than they were last time. Chances are they're going to be worse than they were last time as time goes on. Now, if you live in a major city, forget about it. But if you're traveling to the rural areas, the fruit tends to start to improve a little bit. It's like the further you go from the city, the better the fruit is. Also, the further you go from the city, seems to be the better the women are. Kind of goes hand in hand, guys. So what I'm trying to say to you is start to look at women the way I started to look at fruit. And this will do yourself a justice. You will lower your stress levels. You'll lower your disappointment, okay? And you'll just be overall more pleasant. But I see a lot of guys letting the disappointment of modern women eat away at them. And it's pointless, guys. It's pointless. And for all you guys that keep taking to the comments saying sly stuff about chicks on TikTok or YouTube or Twitter or whatever, bro, stop. That's bitch energy. That's exactly what females do, bro. They take to social media and complain about the quality of men, yet do absolutely nothing to find the quality men or to qualify for the quality men. And I see a lot of dudes doing the exact same thing. Maybe they don't do this and make themselves the star of their own show, like women do. Women are the star of their own social media. We know that. But guys get into the comments and, that's why she's gonna be old and with cats. She's gonna die alone. Ha ha ha, die alone. That's why she's hitting the wall. Hitting the wall, post wall. Ha ha ha. Single mom, bro. It's not doing anything for you, bro. All right, it's just negative energy, a negative loop. There are still quality women out there, bro. Okay? Yes, there are very few, and yes, they are in certain places. Okay? Just like the good fruit is in certain places where it's still being grown the way fruit should be grown. So if you go to where the women are still being raised the way girls should be raised, they'll be there. Okay? But you might have to do a little something more to make yourself in a position to even go to where they're at, and also to qualify for said women. That should be your focus. So if you have time to say something negative about most women, or Western women, or modern women, bro, you got too much fucking time. You got too much time. You should be spending that time being the best version of yourself so that you'll be one of the few guys that actually gets some fruit worthwhile. You get what I'm saying, guys? All right? So all this negative bullshit, get it up out of here. Quit whining and bitching, complaining about how most women are. And just keep in mind that just because the quality has gone down and what's considered a quality woman or a good woman now isn't in abundance, that just makes it more valuable now. Okay? Well, think about that. Value. When something becomes scarce, when something quality becomes scarce, it becomes more valuable now. Because there's few of them available and they're not a given. You're not granted one anymore. See, being a good man, a strong man, secure man, a masculine man, nowadays, that's like some real special, valuable shit. But in the 40s and the 50s, that was common. The men in general were strong. The average dude was resilient, was a go-getter, wasn't gonna give up, could deal with hard times. The average guy. So a strong man wasn't like, oh my God, he's so strong and masculine and stern and stoic. No, he was just a dude. All right? So also in the past, wife material was nothing special, bro. Okay? A good mom, nothing special about it. A virtuous woman, a loyal woman, okay? A modest woman, none of that shit was special back in the day, bro. There wasn't nothing unique about it. It wasn't like, whoa, you see the girl I got? Nobody gave a shit because that's how women came in general. Now, if you had one of those and she was beautiful, lucky guy. Okay? So what I'm saying is those things are more valuable now. So focus on being that type of man and focus on finding that type of woman and appreciate it. Find it, value it, appreciate it, take full advantage, and just know you're one of the lucky ones. But for God's sake, don't bitch about it or complain about the lack of the availability of it. Because there are many things that are valuable that are scarce. You're not bitching and complaining about how they're not just being handed out either, are you? We're not complaining that people aren't handing out, $100,000 loans. We're not complaining that people aren't just handing out free money, People aren't just giving you Bitcoin. You ain't complaining about that. You're not entitled to that. So stop acting entitled to good fruit. Stop acting entitled to quality women. It is what it is. Be one of the few people to get what you want. All right? So, keep it authentic as always, guys. We out of here. Peace.